Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be taking you through the operative build options for the Phobos strike team that were included in the Kill Team Moroch box set. In this video I'll be going through all the options to build your Phobos strike team kill team, and so we'll be having a real close look at the sprues, looking at the instruction book, and also the rules for the Phobos strike team included in the Moroch rulebook. Once we've had a look through the books and sprues, I'll be showing you the models I've built, like this one, for my Phobos strike team, and going through all the decisions I made to get to the finished product. The first thing I recommend doing is taking a good look at the sprues. Now, these aren't new models by any means. These incursors or infiltrator sprues have been around for quite a while, and you're going to get these two which are going to be identical, and each one will make a 5-man squad. And then you're also going to get this additional sprue. This is the upgrade sprue with parts that wouldn't usually come in this kit. Now, although this upgrade sprue is new, if you picked up the Vanguard set which had the infiltrators in there, you're going to see a lot of these parts on the models, and they were easy to build models, I believe, but these parts are going to be included in that, but not as a separate sprue like this. So this is the first time you'll get this separate sprue, and there's some cool elements on there, but to be fair, these are pretty good anyway, and I think there's a lot going on here that you could build some really good models with. But this just added a few little extra features and kind of give you a little bit more dynamic poses, and kind of show the models doing more things. And that's one theme with this Phobos strike team. The models almost look like they're in the middle or about to do an action, and I think that's quite cool. It brought them to life a little bit and made them not so static. So yeah, I really liked how they did that with this set. If you're going to be using this to make a specific chapter and then combining some other sprues like I did here, I went with the Raven Guard. So I've got the Primaris upgrades and transfers, and so I was taking some parts from this. The shoulder pads are going to be different. They're not going to work with the infiltrators. You could use it, but I think it's good to kind of keep it in line with how they should look. And you can see on these have got the real straight edges at the bottoms of the shoulder pads, whereas the infiltrators would have the slight bit like chipped out, like it's curved, so they're not going to work quite well on that. So I'm keeping that for if I pick up any other Space Marines that I want to include. I will be using the transfers though, and in these little upgrade packs you usually get 2 sets, so there'll be enough to do the transfers on there at least. And then when I get some other Space Marines that I want to use, I can use the ones with the relief on the shoulder pads, so that's good. But I did use some of the heads. I used the beaks from both, and then the 2 faces that are repeated, so I've included those in there. So just take your upgrade sprues into account as well, and have a look at all the heads, because that's a theme with this box set too, this Moroch box set. Both kill teams have got a ton of heads to choose from, so you've got lots of options in making them look unique, and you can add your own little twists to them, so make them nice and personalised. So yeah, there's some nice features in there. And so yeah, spend time looking at the sprues. That's a really key part of this. Pick out bits you really like the look of, so if you're going for the rule of cool, the sprues are going to be your first place to start. Then once you're happy with the sprues and you've had a good look, then it's time to have a look at the instruction books. Now, you could go straight in here and again just build it by appearance, but I think it's good if you want to go for more the gameplay to look at the rulebook first. So let's start with that. If we turn to page 36, you're going to see all the rules starting for the Phobos strike team kill team. So it's a bit of a mouthful calling it a Phobos strike team kill team, but there we go, that's what they've done. And this tells you how many operatives you can include in your kill team when you go into battle. So you can take one Phobos strike team operative selected from this list. So these are your sergeants. You can have one infiltrator, incursor, or reaver sergeant. And then from this list, you can choose 5. So you've got the infiltrator, commsman, helix adept, saboteur, veteran, voxbreaker, and warrior. And then you've got the incursor, marksman, minelayer, or warrior. And then the reaver, warrior. And it says here that other than warrior operatives, your kill team can only include each other operative once. So for the infiltrators, for example, you've got 6 different operatives, but you can only take 1 of each of those except for the warrior. So if you wanted to build all of these, then you could certainly do that, and then you'd have enough for a decent roster. So that's really good from this kit. You've got the option to do that, but if you just built the infiltrators, for example, you can only take 5 out of the 6 into battle with you each time. So I think that's one good thing they've done here with this kit. You've got all these different ones and you can pretty much build them all, so that's really nice. Altogether there's going to be 9 different ones, so you could potentially do that, but then you'd only get one sergeant, so you'd have to pick which sergeant to go with. Now I've made it really easy on myself. I've just gone infiltrators, so I built the sergeant, then I was able to build all the different operatives, and then for the warrior I made extra of those to make up the 10 models. So that was really great. If you go for the Reaver, you can just make them all as Reaver warriors. So you've got lots of options there to do that. So now you know how many you can include in your team, and you can have a look at the different data cards, and then this is going to give you all the special rules for each of them. So if the special rules appeal to you, you like the way they'll play, then this is a good place to start as well. But you'll see there's a lot more for the infiltrators. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the infiltrators. The incursors are going to come with 3 there, another one there, and then the Reavers are only going to get 2 types. So if you want lots of variety, I would certainly say infiltrators, but you are allowed to mix this up, so you can have infiltrators, incursors and Reavers in the same kill team if you wanted to. So there's no reason that you can't do that. So there we go. So that's what I would say for the rulebook. Make sure you're happy with how many operatives you can have, which ones you really want to make. Look at the data cards, combine that with the sprues, and then you're pretty much going to be set with how you're going to build it. So that brings us on now to the assembly guide. So let's have a look at that, and then I'll talk through which ones you can build and the options you have, and talk about some of the decisions I made when putting mine together. You'll find the Phobos strike team is going to be from sections 1 to 9, and right away we're presented with 3 options here. So you've got to remember, you've got 2 sprues with this one. It's totally different to the blooded kill team in that respect. So if you've got 2 sprues, you're going to be able to make 2 of these from that choice. So you could make the infiltrator sergeant in 2 poses, or you could make one of those infiltrator sergeants and then make an incursor sergeant. So you've got an option of having an incursor and an infiltrator. Now I went with 2 infiltrator sergeants, so that was really great for me. I'm going to have 2 5-man squads that I want to play in Warhammer 40k, so that's a good way of doing it. And then if I wanted to play it in this game, I can just use my other sergeant as a regular warrior, so that's no problem at all. But if you wanted an incursor, you could do that and you'd still have bits left over, or you could make 2 incursor sergeants. You've got that choice as well. One thing to point out here is that you can notice they've got different legs, so you can either build them both using A3 and A4, or you can build one with A3, A4, one with A24, A25, and then if you do choose to do that, you can use the other A25 from the second sprue for your infiltrator warrior here that starts as 6A. So you can either build them both with the same legs or different. So you really can mix this up. You don't even have to follow the instructions for the legs you're using and things like that too much. You can certainly mix it up and change it around. And so with my sergeants, I've done one with each leg just to mix it up a little bit. For the second choice, you can have a warrior, an infiltrator warrior, an incursor warrior, or an infiltrator saboteur. So I built one of the saboteurs. That was an important choice for me, so I did that first, and then I also got this one ready for the infiltrator warrior. Then here you got the infiltrator warrior or an incursor warrior, or the infiltrator with the helix adept. So again, I built that one first just to make sure I had that option. And then here we've got the infiltrator warrior or the incursor warrior. So nothing much to choose from there. No special operatives or anything for those 2. And then going here, you've got lots of choices now for this. So this is really where I wanted to make a few of these. So you've got the infiltrator warrior, the infiltrator commsman, infiltrator voxbreaker, incursor marksman, and incursor warrior. So I didn't worry about this one, and I built these 2. So I've got the commsman and the voxbreaker. I didn't like this server skull, so I just left it off and I just put one of these on instead. So I almost made them look quite similar. I'll be using those in 40k because I want each of my 5-man squad to have an infiltrator comms array. So I think that'll work out really nicely. That'll give them the aura abilities at that extended range. So I think that's really good for 40k. So that's where I went with those 2, but used the different comm array on the top instead of that servo skull. On all of these, you can see you've got loads of choices for the different heads you can use, and that's one good thing about this kit. It's not like the Blooded Kill Team where the heads were moulded for the torsos. These are all able to go on different ones, so you can certainly mix it up. You've got all different choices, you've got different accessories to go on there as well, and so yeah, you can really make them look however you like, and there's lots of heads to choose from as well. Going on to the next page, you've got an option here to build 5 different ones. You can have an Infiltrator Warrior, and you've got 2 poses, an Incurser Warrior, Incurser Mine Layer, and an Infiltrator Veteran. So I went for the Veteran, and I went for the Warrior with this smoking grenade. So I thought that looked pretty cool. So nice, easy choice there. And if you're building Incursors, I think you've got even less choices to make, really, because there's only a few specialists that you're going to make. And that's it. That's all the different options you've got. So I think once you've picked out the main ones you want and you've built those, you really can have fun just playing around, making it as the book says, or mixing it up a bit and having them however you like. And I'll show you the models next, so you can see that I've done a few different poses with mine based on some of the elements from the sprue that I really liked. So let's have a look at the models now. The first one to take a look at is the Sergeant, and so I've used a weapon from the Raven Guard upgrade kit, the head from that upgrade kit, and then the rest I've put him together, as you can see here. Put this on the top so that he stands out as well, and so I've also added some little feathers there. So I put some bits from the upgrade kit, but the rest all comes from this. These little pouches are really cool. They're going to be great just to break up the colour when everything's going to be black with little bits of white, and being able to do those in like the maybe brown leather pouches, I think that would look pretty nice. And then he's got the pistol on the side there, so that's going to be my first Sergeant. And then I built another one using a totally different set of legs here. I've used one of the heads here from my Space Wolves bits, and so this has still got the runes on, but I think that's going to work fine, and so he'll make a good Sergeant for my second squad. Added some feathers from the Raven Guard kit, and then he's got the knife, and this wasn't anything that was shown on the assembly guide, but I just thought it looked cool. So that's my second Sergeant for the 2 squads. So I am thinking mainly 40k for these, but if I wanted to use them in Kill Team, I could still use him as a regular warrior. That's going to work no problem at all. Now this one I built as a regular Infiltrator Warrior, but I put some of the elements from the Incurser Marksman on there because I like this bit. I think this is really cool, the arm here. He's just about to tweak the scope. He's got the binoculars, so I think that works really nice. It's a really cool pose. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where a lot of these models are built so they look like they're about to do something, rather than kind of just in a static pose. And I like that. That really gives them some like idea that there's some movement going on, they're up to something, so it's not too static. So I really like how they've done that. It's turned out really well. So this guy's a really good example of that, but you'll see it throughout the whole Kill Team. Here's another warrior that I've built with that smoker and grenade. I thought that looked awesome. Popped a beaky helmet on there from the upgrade kit, and that's worked out really nice. So nice and simple. But that smoking grenade's really cool. I really like that. Now we've got the Infiltrator Helix Adept, and this is the bit that came on the upgrade sprue in this Moroch set. So really cool, and he's about to reach into his pouch again. He's in the middle of doing something, or he's about to do something. So yeah, really like that. But I think the beaks really set these off. Works nicely. This is another beak taken from that upgrade sprue as well, the Raven Guard upgrade pack. So another nice pose. Here we've got the Infiltrator Saboteur, so he's got this big pack here, really like that, and then he's also got the little remote detonator, it looks like there, so nice model again. I think I put this on upside down actually, so I'll probably have to take that off and do that again. But the head, this was taken from a tactical squad, and I just trimmed off some parts of it there, because it had the little like feathers in the top, so I trimmed that off, made sure that was nice and smooth, and so I think that fits in a lot better. But there we go. There's the Infiltrator Saboteur. Here's the Infiltrator Commsman, and then I used the head from the Raven Guard upgrade sprue. I love this, how it's slung over his shoulder. That looks great, and with the extra array on the top, really makes him stand out. And he's again about to do something. He's typing something in here. So yeah, really nice model. I think having that mix of mostly beaky heads and then just a few of the emo faces is going to work out really nicely, and that'll tie in with the K-Van Strike model that I bought to start putting together my 1,000 points of Raven Guard for 40k. So he'll fit in really nicely with that, but work great alongside it in Kill Team 2. This one is the Infiltrator Vox Breaker. I didn't put the Server Skull on because I wanted that extra Infiltrator comms array for 40k, so that's going to be good for that. And with this one, I used one of the helmets from the Moroch set, but I went with one that's still got the face exposed there, so I can paint that up in that nice pale skin colour. But otherwise, just follow the instructions for that one. That leaves 2 more, and this is going to be one of them. This is the Warrior, so I just picked a stance I liked. So that's one of the Warriors in regular stance. And then the second one here, again, he's about to do something. He's reaching for his pistol, so that's a really nice pose as well. So I really like that one. So the only model I haven't built is the Infiltrator Veteran, but this one I could use as the Veteran. This is a really similar pose, and the only thing I've swapped really is the head, and this arm I've gone for the knife like that instead of the hand pointing. I did leave off the seal on his chest plate there, so that's not included, but otherwise he could certainly work for that. But I'll mostly be using him in 40k anyway, so there we go. As a sergeant, I'm really happy with how he looks. Now we've gone through the sprues, the 2 books, and I've shown you how I put my kill team together. I hope this has been helpful to give you an idea of just what's included in this set. Also giving you an idea of what operatives you can build, how you can use them for 40k as well. And so, yeah, hope that's given you a good insight into everything that's included for the Phobos strike team in the Moroch kill team box set. If you haven't picked the set up yet, but you're interested in grabbing it, I'll put some links in the description down below to Element Games and Wayland Games. And if you follow those links, you can save up to 20% on the RRP. It's not going to cost you anything extra, and you'll also support the channel as I get a small commission from every sale made. So thanks so much for that. That's really brilliant. Helps me to keep going with these daily videos. So that's awesome. Thank you. If you're interested in finding out more about the box set itself, then take a look at my other video that I did for the unboxing, where I went through it all in detail, including the sprues for everything that was included in the box. I've also done a similar video to this for the blooded kill team, and I'm about to do a video for the terrain, just going through the special rules that were included in this book here. I've really enjoyed putting this together, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing the process so far, and I look forward to sharing those other videos with you soon. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Please like if you liked the video, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.